Hello and welcome back. This is your host Harshit Sinha, bring you another engaging discussion on SEBI's ESG's Rating Provider Evaluation Methodology. Before we delve into ESG investment, let us explore this crucial topic. The Securities and Exchange Board of India, SEBI, has developed a comprehensive methodology for evaluating and assigning rating points to environmental, social, and governance, that is ESG Rating Provider. This robust framework aims to ensure transparency, reliability, and consistency in the ESG rating process, which has become increasingly crucial for investors and companies alike in the modern financial landscape. SEBI's methodology encompasses various aspects of an ESG rating provider's operation, from their research process and data source to their governance structure and conflicts of interest management. By standardizing the evaluation of these providers, SEBI seeks enhance the credibility of ESG rating and facilitate more informed decision making in sustainable. SEBI's ESG Rating Provider evaluation method is a crucial step towards ensuring the credibility and effectiveness of ESG rating in India. By providing transparency, data accuracy, and conflict mitigation, this framework fosters trust in ESG rating and empowers market participants to make informed decisions for a sustainable future. In our previous presentation, we discussed the guidelines required for ESG rating provider. Today, we all provide an in-depth overview of SEBI's ESG rating provider evaluation methodology. Let us dive into the subject matter and explore its key components and implications for the Indian financial market. Now shall we first discuss about the transparency in the methodology for ESG rating. It becomes apparent that before we proceed for rating, what transparency should be engulfed in the methodology for doing rating for ESG parameters using BRSR formats. Transparency in methodology for ESG rating requires clear disclosure of the entire rating process that includes detailed explanation of the rating criteria and indicator used, weightage assigned to each ESG factors, data source and collection methods, scoring mechanism and calculation methods, and any assumption or limitation in the methodology. The second is, while regular updates and clear communication of any change in the methodology are essential to maintain transparency and credibility in the ESG rating process, it includes establishing a clear schedule for methodology review, communicating changes promptly to all stakeholders, providing detailed explanation for any modifications, assessing the impact of an update on existing rating, and incorporating emerging ESG trend and best practices. Rating provider should make this information easily accessible to all stakeholders, including rated entities and investors. This includes providing public access to rating methodologies, offering clear, jargon-free explanation of rating process, making information available in multiple languages when applicable, ensuring ease navigation on website or platforms, providing downloadable documents for offline review, and offering summaries along detailed methodologies. Consistency in methodology application builds credibility and allows for meaningful comparison between rated entities. It ensures that difference in rating reflects genuine variation in the ESG performance rather than inconsistency in the rating process. It includes applying uniform criteria across similar companies and sectors, maintaining standardized data collection and analysis process, ensuring consistent interpretation of ESG factors over time, using reliable, replicable scoring method, and implementing quality control measures to reduce bias. Overall, SEBI's approach towards transparency in methodology for ESG rating helps to demystify the ESG rating process, enabling all interested parties to understand how ratings are determined and fostering the trust in the system. This slide discusses SEBI's mandate before rating process. There are two processes that are mandatory before doing any rating process. Let us take one by one. First is data collection and verification. Data collection and verification includes data source. SEBI assesses the variety and reliability of data source used by ESG rating provider. This includes evaluating the use of primary source, that is company's report, direct engagement, and secondary source, that is news, article, government database, etc. Provider using a diversified range of credible source receive higher points. Next is data verification process. The methodology examines the robustness of data verification process. This includes checking for cross-referencing of information, fact-checking procedure, and the use of the advanced technology like AI for data validation. Providers with the stringent verification protocols scores higher in this category. The next is data updates. SEBI considers the frequency and timelessness of data updates. Providers that regularly refresh their data and promptly incorporate new information into their rating are awarded more points. This ensures that ESG rating reflects the most current company performance and market conditions. Next is quality control measure that first start with a data input verification. SEBI is urged to assess the process in place to verify the accuracy of data inputs. This includes cross-checking mechanism and data validation protocols to minimize the error at the entry level. The next is analytical process review. The methodology examines the quality control measures applied during the analytical process. This involves evaluating peer review system and the use of multiple analysts to ensure objectivity and accuracy. The next is output validation. SEBI urged to consider the final review process before rating are published. This includes checks for consistency, outlier detections, and comparison with historical data to ensure the reliability of the final output. Next is continuous improvement. The presence of feedback loops and mechanism for continuous improvement of quality control process is evaluated. Providers that demonstrate and commitment to ongoing enhancement receive higher score. Now we shall discuss the sector coverage and specialization that includes breadth of coverage. SEBI evaluates the range of sectors covered by the ESG rating providers. Those offering comprehensive coverage across various industries receive higher points, and this demonstrates a broader expertise and ability to provide comparative rating. The next is sector-specific expertise. The methodology assesses the depth of knowledge and specialization within each covered sector, provides that demonstrate in-depth understanding of sector-specific ESG issues and challenges are awarded additional points. Next is emerging sectors. SEBI also considered the provider's ability to adapt to and cover emerging sectors such as renewable energy or biotechnology, flexibility and foresight in expanding coverage to new industries are positively regarded in the scoring system. Well, this slide narrates the elements under Analytical Rigor that refers to the ESG rating system to precise and exacting the standards to better understanding and draw conclusion based on the careful consideration or investigation. It involves maintaining a high level of quality in analytical process. Under SEBI's ESG rating system, quantitative analysis involves utilizing robust statistical methods, employing data-driven matrices and KPIs, conducting trend analysis over time, benchmarking against the industry's standards, using standardization calculation methods, incorporating financial and non-financial data, applying weighting system to different ESG factors and ensuring data normalization for comparability. While qualitative analysis involves evaluating companies' policies and practice, assessing management commitment to ESG, analyzing corporate culture and values, reviewing stakeholders' engagement practice, examining the quality of ESG disclosure, and considering industry-specific ESG challenges. Further, SEBI's ESG rating system incorporates sector-specific consideration by identifying material ESG issue unique to each industry, adjusting weighting for sector-relevant factors, developing industry-specific metrics and KPIs, considering sector-specific regulatory environment, and analyzing industry-specific environmental, social, governance impact. While SEBI urges integrate new ESG trend by regular monitoring emerging ESG issue, incorporating new sustainability framework and standards, adapting to evolving regulatory requirement, considering technology advancement in ESG measurement, addressing emerging stakeholder concern, and updating methodologies to reflect new ESG risks. Thus, today in the world of information analysis, analytical rigor is crucial as it reflects the quality of process rather than just the end product. It allows for clear communication about how conclusions were reached and ensure a thorough and accurate analysis under ESG rating system. Overall, one can conclude that it is a key factor in producing reliable and valuable intelligence insights of ESG rating. Well, this slide provides SEBI's ESG rating provider evaluation methodology, emphasizing the importance of engagement with the related entities throughout the rating process. This engagement ensures accuracy, fairness, and transparency in ESG rating. Here is a detailed description of the engagement process covering initial contact, data verification, ongoing dialogue, and feedback incorporation. The first is initial contact. The engagement process begins with the rating provider reaching out to the entity being rated. The initial contact serves several purposes such as introducing the rating process and methodology, explaining the importance and implication of ESG rating, outline the data requirement and timeline, establishing points of contact within the rated entity, and addressing any initial question or concern. Here the goal is to set a foundation of collaborative and transparent rating process. Next is related to data verification. Once the initial data is collected, the rating provider engages with the entity to verify information like requesting supporting document for key data points, clarifying any ambiguity or inconsistency in the provided information, conducting interviews or site visit if necessary, cross-referencing data with the publicly available information, and identifying and addressing any data gap. This step is crucial for ensuring the accuracy and reliability of the ESG rating. The next point is related to the ongoing dialogue. Throughout the rating process, the provider maintains an open line of communication with the rated entity by providing update on the rating progress, addressing any new question or concern that arises, discussing preliminary findings and potential area of improvement, explaining any methodological nuisance specific to the entity's sectors and offering opportunities for the entity to provide additional context or information. This ongoing dialogue helps build trust and ensure that the rating accurately reflects the ESG performance. Next is related to the feedback incorporation. The rating providers actively seeks and incorporate feedback from the rated entity by sharing draft rating for review before finalizing, considering the entity perspective on specific ESG issue, adjusting the rating if new, verifiable information is provided, explaining the rationale behind the maintaining or changing rating based on feedback and using feedback to refine and improve the rating methods over time. This feedback loops ensure that the final rating is as accurate and fair as possible for the entity. The next is related to the post-rating engagement. Even after the rating is finalized, the engagement continue providing detailed explanation for the final rating, offering insight into the areas of strength and opportunities for improvement, discussing strategies for enhancing ESG performance, scheduling regular check-ins to track progress and updates, and encouraging the entity to provide ongoing feedback on the rating process. This ongoing engagement helps entities understand their rating and work towards improving their ESG performance. Next is related to the transparency and documentation. Throughout the engagement process, the rating providers maintain a thorough documentation by recording all significant interaction and decisions, maintaining an audit trail of the data verification and changes, documenting the rationale for rating decision, and ensuring the transparency in how feedback is incorporated or addressed. This documentation supports the credibility and definability of the rating process. Overall, following this comprehensive engagement approach, SEBI's methodology ensures that ESG ratings are not just a top-down assessment, but collaborative process that leverage the insights and perspective of the rated entities. This approach enhances the accuracy, relevance, and usefulness of the ESG rating for all stakeholders. Now we shall discuss transparency in the rating process. That is, what transparency should be there in the rating process. SEBI's ESG transparency in rating process for rating provider is a comprehensive framework designed to ensure clarity, reliability, and accessibility in the ESG rating process. This framework covers 4 key areas, and let's explore each of these in detail. The first is related to the methodology disclosure. Rating providers are required to publicly disclose their complete rating methodologies. This includes detailed explanation of the ESG factors considered and their weighing, scoring system and calculation method used, industry-specific adjustment, and their rational frequency of methodology, update and revision process, handling of data gaps or inconsistency, approach to materiality assessment, and integration of qualitative and quantitative factors. It should be noted that the disclosure should be comprehensive enough for a stakeholder to understand how ratings are derived and compare methodology across the different providers. The next is related to data source transparency. Transparency in data source is crucial for credibility of ESG rating. Provider must disclose all primary and secondary data source used, explain the data collection process and frequency of updates, Clarify the use of estimated data and estimation methodology. Describe data verification process and quality control measures. Disclose any limitation or potential bias in data source. Explain how conflicting data from different sources is recorded and provide information on use of third-party data providers, if any. Thus, transparency allows users to assess the reliability and comprehensiveness of the data underlying the rating. The next is related to the rating decision explanation. Rating provider must offer clear explanation for their rating decision to provide detailed rationales for assigned rating, explain significant change in the rating over time, highlights key factors that influence the rating decision, discuss how specific ESG issues impacted the overall rating, offer comparison to industry peers where relevant, explain any deviation from standard methodology in special case, and provide context on how comprehensive or specific events affected rating. This explanation helps stakeholders understand the nuance behind each rating and make informed decisions based on the rating. The next point is related to the accessibility of the information. All information related to ESG rating should be easily accessible to maintain a user-friendly website with a clear navigation. Offer downloadable reports and methodology documents. Provide summaries alongside detailed report for a quick reference. Ensure multilingual access where appropriate. Use plain language and avoid excessive jargon. Offer visualize aid like charts and infograph to enhance the understanding. Provide contact information for further inquiries. Ensure accessibility features for users and disabilities and offer regular webinar or question-answer session for stakeholders. The goal is to make ESG rating information understandable and available to all interested parties, from sophisticated investors to the general public. By adhering these transparency principles, SEBI aims to enhance the credibility and usefulness of ESG rating in the Indian market. This approach fosters trust among the stakeholders, enable meaningful comparison between rated entities, and supports informed decision making in sustainable investing. Furthermore, this levels of transparency allows for scrutiny and feedback from the market, which can drive continuous improvement in rating methodology and practice. It also helps rated entity understand their ESG performance better and identify areas for improvement. Ultimately, SEBI focuses on transparency in the ESG rating process, contributes to the overall development of a robust and reliable ESG ecosystem in India, aligned with the global best practices while addressing the local market needs. This slide largely discusses and compares the ESG core parameters and parameters used for ESG rating. There is not much difference, as most of the core parameters are some or the other way are covered under the parameter used for the rating, that is ESG rating. One must note that the ERP may provide additional ESG rating products subject to compliance with relevant provisions of the credit rating agencies' regulations and circulars issued thereunder. Further, an ERP shall offer at least the following ESG rating product, naming ESG rating, transition of Parivartan score, combined score, core ESG rating, core transition or Parivartan score, core combined score. For such various ESG rating product, ERP shall ensure use of suitable nomenclature that enables the end user to differentiate the ESG rating product from each other. In the interest of the clarity, to market participants, it is mandated that the ESG rating shall be provided on a scale of 0 to 100, where 100 represents the maximum score. It should be noted further that for existing outstanding ESG rating, the ERP shall disclose new rating symbol and definition on their website and updates their rating list on their websites. Now we shall discuss one of the important points that while doing rating, the rating agency registered under SEBI must adopt country-specific standards led by the various ministries named as Ministry of Environment and Forest and Climatic Change, Ministry of Energy, Coal, Corporate Affairs. Thus, ERP should consider Indian-specific standards, laws, guidelines for the rating agency of energy efficiency, green building initiative, air emissions, greenhouse gas emission, chemical safety, waste management, effluent waste water, and corporate social responsibility. It should be noted that all intensity ratios should be factored in after adjusting the purchasing power priority. Owing to my previous slide, now we shall discuss sector-specific ESG consideration in India. The slide largely discusses provision-made sector-specific ERP consideration in India, where the rating impact largely based on the ESG parameter classified under the sector-specific industrial classification. This is only an illustrative and advise all ERPA to develop their own set of ESG parameters based on the industrial type classification of India and also as per the set rules and regulation or specific standards, laws, guidelines, and if required, one can keep adding the new sector under the specified Indian classification. The ERP are advised to conduct rating as per the set guidelines by the SEBI so as to make, identify and compare the impact of rating within the specific time period of the company or entity and also with other similar company or entity. Now we shall discuss overview of SEBI's rating point system. SEBI's rating point system for ESG rating providers is a comprehensive evaluation of the framework designed to assess the quality and reliability of ESG rating services. This system aims to standardize the evaluation of ERPs and ensure they meet high standard and integrity, transparency, and analytical rigor. Here is a detailed description of the key component of this system. The first is related to the criteria establishment. SEBI has established a set of criteria that covers various aspects of ERP's operations and methodology. These criteria are grouped into several categories which may include governance and independence, transparency and disclosure, methodology robustness, data quality and verification, analytical rigor, stakeholder engagement, etc. One must note that each category contains specific criteria that reflect best practices in ESG rating. The next point is related to the point allocation. Each criteria within the category is assigned a specific point value based on its importance and impact on the overall quality of ESG rating. The point allocation system typically works such as more critical criteria are assigned higher points value or the points are allocated on a scale, for example 0 to 5, 0 to 10, etc. or each criteria or by total points available across all criteria sum up to a predetermined maximum score that is 100 or 1000 points. For example, for transparency of methodology, it is 0 to 10 points, data verification process 0 to 8 points, and on conflicts of interest policy it is 0 to 7 points, etc. The next point we are going to discuss is the provider assessment. ERP are assessed against each criterion through a rigorous evaluation process, such as ERP submit a detailed documentation and evidence for each criteria, or SEBI appointed evaluator review the submission and may conduct on-site visit or interview, or each criteria is scored based on the ERP's performance and evidence provided, or the evaluator provides the justification for the score assigned, and or ERPs may be given opportunity to provide additional information or clarification. The next point is related to total score calculation. The total score of an ERP is calculated by summing up the points earned across all categories, but must be taken care before assigning the points that the points earned for each criterion are tallied. Category subtotal are calculated. The overall score is computed by summing all category subtotal, and the final score is typically expressed as a percentage of the maximum possible score. Later, based on the total score, ERPs are assigned rating or classification. For example, governance and independence had scored 18 points out of 20. Transparency and disclosure have scored 16 out of 18 points. Methodology, robustness scored 22 out of 25 points. So now the total score will be 85 points out of 100, that is 85%. Now, as per rating agency, 5-point scale classification is being used, where excellent is classified under 90 to 100%, while very good from 80 to 89%, good from 70 to 79%, satisfactory from 60 to 69, needs improvement below 60%. Here in our example, the company had very good rating scale as it scored 85% mark. These rating helps stakeholders understand the overall quality and reliability of different ERPs. The next point is related to the continuous improvement. The rating point is designed to encourage continuous improvement. For ERP receive detailed feedback on their performance in each category. Areas for improvement are highlighted. ERPs are encouraged to address weakness before the next evaluation cycle, and system may be periodically reviewed and updated to reflect evolving best practices and market needs. By implementing this comprehensive rating point systems, SEBI aims to enhance the credibility and effectiveness of ESG rating in Indian market. This system provides a clear, quantifiable method for evaluating ERPs, ensuring they meet high standard of quality and reliability. It should offer stakeholders valuable insight into the strength and weakness of the different ERPs, supporting informed decision making in the selection and the use of ESG rating. In this slide, we are going to discuss timelessness and frequency of rating. The first is regular updates. Under the SEBI's ESG Rating Providers evaluation system, timelessness and frequency of rating are crucial criteria with a high points allocation. It further emphasizes SEBI's ERP framework likely mandates a minimum frequency for ESG rating with the possibility of more frequent updates. Companies with high ESG rating might be subject to annual review, while those with a lower rating or significant change in operation could require more frequent assessment. The goal is to ensure rating remain timely and reflects a company's evolving ESG performance. ERP are likely expected to provide regular updates such as thorough supplementary report to keep stakeholders informed of any development that might impact a rating. The next is related to event-driven updates. SEBI's ERP evaluation system assigns medium rating points for prompt response to significant events, emphasizing events-driven updates. For companies with a medium ESG rating under SEBI's ERP scheme, the focus is shifted to event-driven updates. While a baseline frequency might exist, maybe biannual review, significant events become the trigger for prompt rating reassessments. This ensures rating react swiftly for substantial change in the company's ESG profile, whether positive or negative. Example of such event could include major environmental incident, social controversies, or significant governance shakeup. The next point is related to the consistency based on updates. Companies with medium ESG rating under the SEBI's ERP scheme likely benefits from a balance between the flexibility and consistency. ERP might adhere to pre-published schedule for rating updates, that is annual or semi-annual review. This predictable allows stakeholders to anticipate updates and plan accordingly. However, the framework might also allow for adjustment in exceptional circumstances. For instance, if a medium-rated company experiences a significant positive ESG development, the ERP could conduct an unscheduled review to reflect this improvement while still maintaining the overall consistency of the published schedule. The next is related to timeliness. SEBI's ERP evaluation system highly value minimal lag between the data collection and publication, assigning high rating points for timeliness. Companies with a high ESG rating under the SEBI's ERP schemes likely enjoy the benefits of minimal lag between the data collection and rating publication. This prioritizes the timeliness to ensure the rating accurately reflects a company's current ESG performance. ERP might employ real-time data source or conduct frequent data collection cycles to minimize the time between the gathering information and releasing the update rating. This allows investors and other stakeholders to make informed decisions based on the most recent ESG. Now, this slide deals the handling of the controversies and disputes arising out of the rating process. SEBI's ESG rating process framework aims to establish a robust system for evaluating companies' environmental, social, and governance performance. However, controversies and disputes regarding rating are inevitable. This section outlines how SEBI's schemes tackles these situations, covering detection, impact assessment, response time, and dispute resolution. The first is related to controversy detection, which can be solved in three ways. First is the market monitoring. SEBI will likely monitor market activities and media reports to identify potential controversies surrounding specific ESG rating. The next is related to the issuer complaints. Companies that disagree with their assigned rating can file complaints with the ERP or directly with the SEBI. Next is investor concerns. SEBI might also consider investors' concern raised through official channel or industry association. The next is related to the impact assessment. Following the detection of the controversy, SEBI will likely assess its potential impact on the market. This may involve three types of things. First is severity analysis, evaluating the seriousness of the discrepancy between the rating and the company's perceived ESG performance. Other is market sentiment gauge, assessing the potential disruption to investors' confidence in ESG rating due to controversy. Another is related to reputation risk assessment, analyzing the potential reputational damage to SEBI's ESG rating framework. The next is related with the response time. SEBI's response time to controversy will likely depend on the severity of the situation. For minor discrepancy, SEBI may allow the ERP time to address the issue internally and potentially revise the rating. However, for more serious controversy, SEBI might take a swifter action, including public clarification. Issues a statement clarifying SEBI's stance on the controversy and potential corrective measures. Another is related to on-site inspection, conducting an inspection of the ERP process to identify any potential flaws in the rating methodology. Next is related to enforcement action. In extreme cases, SEBI might initiate enforcement actions against the ERP, which could involve penalties or even suspension of their license. Another point is dispute resolution. SEBI framework likely include a mechanism for formal dispute resolution. This could involve three things. First is internal review. The ERP may offer an internal review process for companies to appeal their rating. Next is independent review. SEBI might appoint an independent body or arbitrary body to review the disputed rating and provide a non-biased assessment. Next is related to legal resources. Ultimately, company might have the opinion to pursue legal action if they are not satisfied with the outcome of the internal or independent review. Now, throughout the process, SEBI will likely emphasize transparency and communication. This may involve two things. First is public disclosure. SEBI might issue public statement regarding the controversy, the corrective action taken, and the final resolution. The next is related to the engagement with the stakeholder. SEBI could engage with market participants, including ERPs, companies, and investors, to ensure a fair and transparent resolution. By establishing a clear process for handling controversies and disputes, SEBI aims to maintain investors' confidence in the ESG rating system and foster a more robust and reliable framework for evaluating companies' ESG performance. Slide discusses the challenges in ESG rating implementation. Challenges in implementing the ESG rating navigating a complex landscape. Despite the growing importance of ESG rating, implementing them effectively present several challenges. These challenges hinder the accuracy, comparability, and overall effectiveness of the ESG rating, impacting both companies and investors. First is related to the data availability and the quality. The first point in this is limited data. ESG data, particularly for social and governance aspect, is often less readily available compared to the traditional finance data. Companies may not consistently report on the ESG matrices, or their reporting might be incomplete or inconsistent. The second is data verification. Verification, the accuracy and reliability of the ESG data can be difficult. Companies may self-report data, and independent verification processes are still evolving. The next is related to comparability issue. Data format and measurement methodology for ESG's metrics can vary significantly across companies and industries, making comparison between the companies challenging. Another challenge is standardization issue, which is related with the three things: lack of universal standard. There is no single universal accepted standard for ESG rating methodology. Different rating agency uses different models, leading to discrepancy in rating for the same company. The next is related to industry specificity. ESG consideration can vary greatly across the industries. A standardized approach might not adequately capture the unique ESG challenges and opportunities faced by the different sectors. Next is related to rapidly evolving landscape. ESG factor and the best practices are constantly evolving. Existing rating methodologies might struggle to keep pace with these changes, potentially rendering the rating outdated. The next challenge is related to the cultural and economic context. The first issue is the global versus local consideration. ESG priorities can differ between developed and developing economies. A rating methodology designed for a Western context might not be suitable for companies operating in the emerging market in India. The next is social norms and governance issue. Social and governance factor can be subjective and influenced by the local cultural norms. For example, labor standards or board composition might be evaluated differently depending upon the region. Next challenge is related to the resource constraint. The first issue here we address is the cost of implementation. Implementing robust ESG rating methodology and the data collection process can be expensive for the companies and rating agencies. Then expertise gap. The field of ESG analysis is still relatively new. There might be a shortage of qualified professionals with the necessary expertise to conduct comprehensive ESG assessment. Now, next is very important point, how to overcome the challenges. Despite these challenges, efforts are underway to improve the effectiveness of ESG ratings. Now, this includes 2 or 3 initiatives. First is standardization. Organizations are collaborating to develop more standardized ESG reporting framework and rating methodologies. The next is data aggregation and verification. Improved data collection platform and independent verification mechanism can enhance the quality and reliability of the ESG data. The last is capacity building. Investing in the training and education program can help to develop a pool of qualified professionals to conduct ESG analysis. By addressing these challenges, ESG rating can evolve into a more robust and reliable tool for assessing a company's sustainability performance, ultimately contributing to more responsible investment decisions and more sustainable future. Now, since we have seen everything, let us see the impact of ESG rating on the Indian stock market. The impact of ESG rating on Indian stock market has been increasingly significant in recent years, reflecting a global trend towards sustainable and responsible investing. This impact manifests in several key areas. The first area is investor attraction. This could be done by the foreign institutional investors, that is FIIs. ESG rating have become a crucial factor for FIIs, many of whom have strict ESG mandate. Higher ESG rated Indian companies are attracting more foreign investment. The next is related to domestic institutional investors. Indian mutual funds and pension funds are increasingly incorporating ESG factors into their investment decisions, driven by both regulatory and encouragement and investor demand. The next is related to the retail investors. Growing awareness among retail investors about ESG issue is leading to increased interest in companies with strong ESG profiles. Next is related to green bonds and ESG funds. The launch of green bonds and ESG focused mutual funds in India has created a new avenue for ESG conscious investors. The next impact we can see in the market valuation, which could be done by the premier valuation. Companies with a high ESG rating often trade at a premium compared to their peers, reflecting investors' perception of lower risk and better long-term prospect. Next is related to the sector differentiation. Within sector, companies with a strong ESG profile are seeing higher price to earning ratios, especially in environmentally sensitive industries. The next is related to the volatility reduction. Stock of companies with high ESG rating have shown a lower volatility during the market downturn, suggesting a flight to qualities during the uncertain times. Next is related to long-term performance. While the impact on short-term returns is debated, there is a growing evidence that the high ESG rated companies in India are outperforming over longer period. The next impact is related to risk mitigation. The first thing is regulatory compliance. Companies with the strong ESG practice are better positioned to comply with the evolving environmental, social regulation, reducing the regulatory risk. Next point is reputational risk. High ESG ratings serve as a buffer against the reputational damage, which can have significant market impacts in the ages of the social media. Next is operational risk. ESG consideration often lead to improved operational practices, reducing the risk of environmental accidents or labor disputes that could negatively impact stock prices. Next type of risk is most important is the climate risk. As climate changes, concern grows. Companies with a better environmental rating are seen as a better prepared for the future climate-related challenges and regulations. Now we come to another impact is related to the index inclusion. ESG focus on indices. Creation of ESG focus indices in India such as Nifty 100 ESG index has led to increased visibility and investment in high ESG rated companies. Next is related to the global index inclusion. Indian companies with a strong ESG rating are more likely to be included in global sustainability indices, attracting international passive investment flow. The next index is benchmark evaluation. As ESG indices gain prominence, they are increasingly being used as a benchmark for fund performance, further driving interest in ESG rated stock. Now, net index is related to the index rebalancing impact. Inclusion or exclusion from ESG indices during the rebalancing can lead to a significant short-term price movement. The next impact is, one can say, it is an additional impact. This is related to the corporate behavior. The growing importance of the ESG rating is influencing corporate behavior, with companies improving their ESG practices to attract investors and enhance the market valuation. Now, another thing is disclosure practice. There is an increase in voluntary ESG disclosure by Indian companies, improving market transparency. This is a good one. Another one is sector shift. Sectors with the inherently stronger ESG profile like renewable energy are seeing increased investors' interest and higher valuation. And last is related with the stakeholder engagement. Companies are increasing their engagement with stakeholders on ESG issue, recognizing the market impact of the stakeholders' perception. Now, the impact of ESG rating on Indian stock market is still evolving with some challenges. What are these challenges? First is related to standardization. The lack of standardized ESG reporting and rating methodologies can lead to confusion and inconsistency in the market reaction. The next is related to the market maturity. The Indian market is still developing in terms of ESG awareness and integration, leading to potentially slower or inconsistent impact compared to more developed market. And the last one is related to the sector disparity. The impact of ESG rating varies significantly across sectors, with some sectors seeing more pronounced effects than the other. Of my presentation, where I will be summing up, having delved into the intricacies of the SEBI's ESG rating system for providers. We have explored mandatory requirements, rating types, classification, methodology, transparency, controversies and disputes resolution mechanism, implementation challenges, and the impact on the Indian stock market. But the story doesn't end here. As an Indian market matures and global ESG trends solidify, ESG ratings are poised to exert a more profound influence on the stock market dynamics, potentially reshaping the investment pattern and corporate priorities within the Indian equity business landscape. This is where investors step onto the center stage, so stay tuned till next week for another captivating topic on navigating investments in the realms of ESG. Until then, bye-bye.